Let's welcome to the program Mr. Duane Chamberlain. Duane, you with us?
Yes, sir.
How do you like to follow that?
Well, Rufus, I tell you, he might be right about sending that engine back.
Dang, here we go. Oh.
I never thought about that, but you know what? When you look at his car, maybe that's why he did that front end all funny like that, so you wouldn't really notice it.
I think that's something they check, though. I don't think he'd get along too long doing that.
I don't know, Duane. You'd be surprised at what we can get away with.
Duane, you guys are been a staple up there in racing since about, looks like 98, according to your bio here. Talk to the southern listeners a little bit about yourself.
Well, I've been racing late models since 96, and we've started out in a family-built car. My father, Dave Chamberlain, has built cars for a long time. For many people, for C.J. Rayburn for years. He worked on a jig there for years, and he's worked back when Fred King had American-made race cars at Indianapolis. My father's the one that built all them cars, and he's raced with, back then was Larry Moore and Godsey, and just been around a long time. He had his own business at one point in the mid-'80s called Pro Chassis Race Cars. So I was doomed. I was raised around it, and just basically all I knew. And so I started in 96, straight from a go-kart to a late model. And I was 16 years old, and very aggressive, I guess, at that age. That might be where my insane Duane nickname came from. I've learned to tame it over the years. I've got older.
Hey, real quick, I wish to hell my name rhymed with insane, because I would have the same nickname. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I've had a lot of opportunities. I've got to drive for a lot of car owners over the years. I drove for like the Illinois, Indiana area, the Rat 1 car, which is really well known back in its time. Bob Pierce used to drive that car. And Marion Martin, I drove for him out of Lawrenceburg. Just many opportunities, all regionally. I've always been lucky enough to have a ride around this area. In 2003, I basically went out on my own and bought all of my own equipment. In our first year, we made the dream at Eldora, and we chased the ALMS Noco Series. We ran second and third, I think, a couple in the point series of the years that we raced it, and then we moved on from there to the Northern All-Star Series, ran a lot in Illinois and over in that area, and had a lot of good races, and we've won some decent shows for the area, and we've won some Northern All-Star races. We've won an all-star race at North Vernon, the Barney O'Field up at Oakshade. So I mean, we've had some decent runs.
Do you feel so you guys have won your fair share of races? When you guys go out on and race some of these races and at some of these tracks, how much do you feel like you're getting beat by something other than legal stuff? Well,
I think everybody talks about tires nowadays, and I definitely feel there's something there. Am I doing it? No. If I was doing it, would I tell you? No, but I'm not. But maybe I should be. But that's one of the biggest talks right now, and it don't really matter. Doesn't matter how good your engine is and how good your car is. If them tires ain't getting in the dirt, you really ain't going nowhere anyway. And so that's. Your tires is one of your biggest factors. But I'm sure it does go on. But I do the best I can do with what I have, and I think that we do pretty good at it.
Can you recall any other like racing performance fad that's come and gone? Can you recall anything you just had to do because everybody else was doing it?
Well, I don't know. It's always in a way monkey see, monkey do. You see the big name guys do it, as they say, and what do? You go buy the same thing. You know, if a new nose comes out that looks a little bit different, well, if he runs good in it, you go buy a nose like that. You know, or if that's the shock that he has on, well, we got to sell all of our shocks and we go buy them shocks. And I mean, that's just part of racing, and that's just how it is. And in racing, it's a cycle. I'm 33 years old, but I've been around it my whole life, and for a long time it was Rayburn cars, and then, you know, the cycle turned and it's rockets, and then right now it looks like it's master builds, and then rocket, they'll come back again, you know, and that just kind of seems how it always works.
You were pretty close in '99 with the Rayburn camp, and I'm a big fan of CJ's, and everybody has their own stories about CJ. But CJ, you know, love him or hate him, he is who he is. Is there another run in the Rayburn camp to be the top chassis?
Well, Rayburn lived these race cars for a long time, and I feel like at his age and what you have to do to be on top of it, he's got the knowledge. I do believe that, and he kind of, like I said, my father worked there for years. I was pretty much kind of grew up over there, and you know, I know the whole family well. But if CJ was a little younger, and if he was at the racetracks and out there every weekend, just being a part of it, kind of like how Mark Richards and Tater and, you know, all them guys are. Like, Rayburn done that for 30 years or however long he done it, and that's why he was on top of the game. And it's not saying nothing bad about CJ at all. I mean, Bud's a great guy. I just think it's something that you just have to go out there and do. So I think at this point he'd have to have somebody come in, and the Rayburn name can still live, and he still has good cars. And but of course, you know, we all know that the 4-bar cars is where everybody's at now. I'm not so sure if the swing arm car would get it done at this point, but if CJ was 15 years younger, he would probably get out there at the racetracks every weekend, and he'd figure it out, and everybody be buying Rayburn cars still.
That's right. Well, this past season, you guys have had your ups and downs. You're driving for Bill Dews of St. Henry Nightclub, Eric Brock of Best Performance. Talk to us about this past year. Well,
I started out the year with Gary Ingles, the 15 car. We ran local, and it was a Rayburn car, and didn't have a lot of engine, but we won some races at Moeller and had some good runs right around his home there, and I got a call and I got to drive for the St. Henry's and Best Performance guys up at the Dream. They asked me to drive their car, and I did, and we won a qualifying race up there and just really hit it off. And they were super nice guys. They gave me a great opportunity. Nowadays, car owners are getting very scarce. The economy and how everything is, and like I said, they're just, Eric and Bill are great guys, and you know, you like them guys as a friend more as just, you know, they're your car owner, but just very nice people, and so I'm blessed at this point to be able to drive for them guys and be able to keep racing.
I got a question for you since you're driving. You mentioned the economy. You super late model driver. If it means you could keep racing, would you drop down to a different class of late model?
I would. My heart's in the late models, but I tell you what.
Well, okay.
I went from a go-kart to a late model, and I go back to driving the go-kart again. I have a lot of fun doing them.
Let me rephrase the question then. I see a lot of guys, I think, put pride before racing. If they can't race a super late model, they don't want to race nothing. My question, I guess, would be, would you go crate racing if it means you were going to race every week?
I would, but I look at how things are going, and I look at the modifieds, for example. I see a lot of late model drivers that's moved to mods, but I look at what they're doing, and they're building late model engines to put in the modified, and they're putting quick change rear ends in them, and they're spending just as much money on the modifieds as they are the late model, and they're racing for half the money. I would not do that. If financial problems was the cause of not racing a super late model, I wouldn't, downgrade to a modified, and not putting modifieds down, but, instead of racing for $1,500 every week, I wouldn't want to race for $600 or $700 and be spending the same amount of money.
Yeah.
But if Crates took over the super late models and they were still paying $2,000 a win at Portsmouth, I would race a Crate.
I mean, so the race, you put racing more important than what necessarily your chariot is, I guess.
I just, yes, I love racing, and I see myself racing something, whatever that might be, as long as I can, I guess. And of course, the super late model, it's the finances is tough. But then again, I probably wouldn't race a late model if I had to run a steel engine in there, and I knew going to the racetrack that I wasn't going to have a chance to win or run the top 5. I wouldn't do that either.
Yeah.
Whatever I did race, I would race knowing that I had a chance to win when I unloaded.
Brian, that's probably one of the best answers I've got on that question.
Yeah, I think so. Now I'm bummed out.
Why is that?
Because I go to the racetrack with a steel motor, and Duane says I ain't got a chance.
Well, he's probably right.
Well, I guess it matters where you race.
Yeah. So then you've got to, I guess, figure out where you're going to go race at, Duane.
Yeah, I think if you found a real small little quarter mile, a little small track, and you had a steel block, some aluminum heads of some little 18-degree motor or something.
I don't even got an 18-degree motor.
Well, you better hope it's a little quarter mile and it gets really slick.
Yeah. Well, we've raced at Moeller a whole bunch this year.
I tell you, the past few times I've been there, it's been pretty hammered down. It's a lot of engine the last couple times I've been there. I know a lot of guys like that stuff, but I'm more of a black slick, smooth, top to bottom, too wide type of track. I want to race there at 2,500. Me and Casebolt had a good race last year. I won. And the track was...
Dwayne, you said that wrong.
What'd I say?
Yeah, we don't pronounce Casebolt's name Casebolt on the show. It's
Cranksbolt.
Yeah, Cranksbolt from here on out.
Cranksbolt?
Yeah, sorry. I've made it. I vowed to never. That's his name, Cranksbolt.
It's Cranksbolt.
Should I ask why or should I not?
You just play along.
Okay. Well, me and him are buddies, so I ain't gonna talk about it.
There is no disrespect meant towards Cranksbolts, but that's how it was pronounced.
You gotta go back in the archives and listen for Cranksbolt.
Yeah, so no disrespect whatsoever.
We happen to have a guy come on and he's called in. He's calling him Cranksbolts and couldn't get past.
So
you had to be there.
Yeah, it owned me that evening. So from now on, it's Cranksbolts, and I'd like to have him on the show and tell him he can come on the show, but his name's going to be Cranksbolts. I apologize.
He's a pretty good guy. He'd probably go along with it.
Okay, good. All right. Well, before we let you get out here, first of all, thank you for taking time out of your evening to come on the show. I wish you guys continued success. I know you guys are building a team with Bill Dews and Eric Brock at St. Henry Nightclub and the best performance. But before we get out of here, thank some of your crew members and also thank the sponsors.
Well, thanks a lot. I want to thank my father, Dave Chamberlain, Chamberlain Fabrication. We actually built our own chassis, and that's been a little bit of our learning curve this year. That's one of the things that I do like what we do is I'm trying to do something a little bit different than everybody, and sometimes without being able to test 2 or 3 days a week, it takes me a little bit longer to figure it out. But he builds me a really good car, and again, Bill and Eric at St. Henry's Nightclub and Best Performance. I want to thank them guys for giving me the opportunity to drive for them, and we're really going to gear up this winter and get things together, and we're really looking forward to 2013. I want to thank VP Racing Fuels, Bell Helmets, Dyer Rods, All-Star Performance, and just all the people that support me and all the fans.
Well, Duane, thanks for coming on. Hey, tell Cranksbolts we do want to talk to him. So I got your number. we know how to get a hold of each other now. So I appreciate coming on, and yeah, tell him we want to get him on the show.
I will do so.
All right, good luck, man.
Okay, thanks a lot.